He was never meant to be remembered. Spartacus, a Thracian born far from the heart of Rome, began life not as a warrior of legend, but as a man caught in the grinding gears of an empire built on conquest and slavery. Likely born around 111 BCE in what is now modern-day Bulgaria, Spartacus grew up among tribes known for their fierce independence and martial skill. At some point, he served as an auxiliary in the Roman army, a foreigner fighting for Rome, but that loyalty was not rewarded. For reasons still debated by historians, perhaps desertion, rebellion, or betrayal, Spartacus was captured, enslaved, and branded not just a prisoner, but a commodity. Rome had a place for men like him, the ludus gladiatorius, a gladiator school. He was sold to Lentulus Batiatus, a wealthy lanista who ran a brutal training camp in Capua, just south of Rome. Life in the ludus was harsh. Gladiators were trained to kill or die, housed like livestock, and fed for strength, not comfort. Their survival depended on brute force, obedience, and blood spilled in the arena. But Spartacus wasn't like the others. Beneath the chains and the bruises was a brilliant mind and a burning sense of justice. He saw what Rome really was, a machine of control, and he had no intention of dying for its entertainment. In 73 BCE, alongside about 70 fellow gladiators, most of them Gauls and Thracians, Spartacus orchestrated a daring escape. Using kitchen knives and makeshift weapons, they fought their way out of the ludus, raided local wagons for real arms, and fled to the wilderness. They found refuge on the slopes of Mount Vesuvius, not yet the volcano of legend, and began to prepare for something far greater than survival, a slave revolt. What began as a jailbreak exploded into a full-scale uprising. Disenfranchised slaves from across the countryside flocked to Spartacus's camp. Men, women, even children, all seeking liberation. The rebel army grew rapidly, swelling from a few dozen to thousands. Rome, initially dismissive, sent a small militia to stamp them out. Spartacus crushed them. Then came another force. He crushed that too. Time and again, Spartacus, who had no formal Roman military training beyond what he learned as a foot soldier, outmaneuvered and outfought Rome's professional legions. He understood terrain, ambush, supply chains, and morale. He trained his followers not just as rebels, but as a disciplined force. And most importantly, he fought for a cause far deeper than conquest: freedom. By 72 BCE, Spartacus led an army of over 70,000 freed slaves. The rebellion became known as the Third Servile War, and it terrified the Roman elite. These were not disorganized peasants. They were a formidable threat to the Republic. Victories piled up. Entire Roman garrisons were routed. Spartacus even managed to defeat 2 consular legions sent to put down the uprising. And yet, his motives remain a mystery. Did Spartacus want to destroy Rome? Or was he simply trying to get his people out, to escape across the Alps and return to their homelands? Some ancient sources suggest that he urged his followers to march north toward freedom, but many, intoxicated by their success, wanted to stay, loot, and punish their former masters. Spartacus, despite being leader, couldn't always control his vast and increasingly diverse army. In time, his rebellion lost focus, strategic opportunities were missed, and Rome, now fully aware of the danger, sent one of its wealthiest and most ambitious men to crush the revolt, Marcus Licinius Crassus. Crassus was no fool. Ruthless and calculating, he restructured the Roman response and brought brutal discipline back to the legions. In a shocking move, he even revived the ancient punishment of decimation, killing 1 out of every 10 men in a unit that showed cowardice. The message was clear. Failure was not an option. Crassus pursued Spartacus relentlessly, driving him south and cutting off any route of escape. Spartacus attempted to broker peace or possibly secure a naval evacuation, but was betrayed. Trapped in southern Italy, with the sea blocked and the legions closing in, Spartacus made a final choice: to fight. In early 71 BCE, Spartacus led his remaining forces, now dwindled and surrounded, into a last stand near the Silurus River. The battle was savage. Eyewitness accounts describe Spartacus charging directly into the heart of the enemy lines, trying to reach Crassus himself. He fought with unimaginable fury, refusing to retreat, even as his men fell around him. Spartacus died that day, his body never found. The rebellion was crushed. Crassus crucified over 6,000 captured slaves along the Appian Way, lining the road from Capua to Rome with crosses as a warning to anyone who would dare challenge the Republic. But the warning did not last forever. While the rebellion had been defeated, Spartacus's legacy only grew stronger. To the Roman elite, he was a dangerous rebel, but to generations that followed, Spartacus became a symbol, a man who rose from slavery to challenge the most powerful empire on earth. He stood for resistance against oppression, for human dignity, for freedom in the face of certain death. In modern times, his name has been invoked by revolutionaries, abolitionists, civil rights leaders, and artists. Films, books, and plays have reimagined his story, turning Spartacus into more than a historical figure. He became a myth, a legend, and an icon of rebellion. He wasn't born a hero. He was made one by his courage, by his choices, and by the empire he defied. Spartacus didn't just fight Rome. He fought the idea that some are born to rule and others to serve, and for that, his name will never be forgotten. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.